Aloha, today I'm going to give you a list of 22 unique facts about Oahu real estate, and we're going to cover everything from real important topics to quirky issues to unique land ownership structures to special zoning rules. Now that might sound boring, but trust me, it's super important, especially if you're looking to buy and invest in Hawaii. Now there's a lot more to mention here in this video because Hawaii is not like the rest of the US in many ways. Now I didn't want this video to get too long, so I've actually split this list in half. This is part 1 with the first 11 unique facts, so make sure you watch part 2 if you want to watch the rest of the list. If you're considering buying a home or investment property, these facts are really going to be useful. Aloha, my name is Chris Shomo, real estate agent and owner and founder of Home Sweet Home Hawaii Real Estate, brokered by eXp Realty. Let's jump right into the first 11 out of 22 little known facts about Hawaii real estate. So these facts are in no specific order, but at 1, did you know Oahu has some of the lowest property tax rates in the nation? A lot of people don't realize that despite Hawaii's high property values, with condos averaging $500,000 and single-family homes hovering around 1.1 million mark, our property tax rate is actually low compared to most states on the mainland. For Honolulu County, for example, which is the single county that encompasses all of Oahu, the base residential rate can be lower than many mainland US cities. Now, I am not a tax advisor, and sometimes discussing this topic, I could look like a deer in headlights. But basically, the Hawaii property tax per $1,000 in taxable value is 3.5. That translates to a tax rate of 0.0035. 3.5 divided by 1,000. So if your home has a taxable value of say 500 grand, your annual tax bill would be around $1,750, and $1 million property, $3,500 a year or $291 a month. Compare that to Texas, for example. Now granted, you don't have to pay income tax there like Florida and Las Vegas or Delaware, but Austin, Texas, which is in Travis County, for example, collects shy of 2% of the property value. So for the same $500,000 property on Oahu, you're paying $10,000 in annual taxes compared to $1,800 in Hawaii, or $20,000 for $1 million home compared to $3,500 a year. That's almost 6 times more. Why this matters? While buyers pay more upfront for a home, lower annual property taxes can slightly offset monthly costs. Keep in mind though, second homes or investment properties, they're often taxed higher. They call it residential A or hotel resort rates. So beware if you're an investor. And feel free to reach out to me if you want to get more into the details in that area. Okay, so second fact, leasehold versus fee simple properties still impact the market. In Hawaii, real estate can be sold in either fee simple, where the buyer owns the land and all the improvements built on it, or leasehold, where the buyer owns only the improvements but pays lease rent to the landowner. Leasehold contracts do eventually expire, and they also have escalating lease rents. Why it matters? Leasehold units often list at lower prices but come with potential challenges, such as renegotiating dates and possible reversion of the property to the landowner at the end of the lease term. So this happens a lot when tourists come to Hawaii stressed and worn out from their jobs, and they fall in love from their reprieve here, that they go on the internet and start searching for inexpensive homes online, and they're just trying to find a way to buy here, find a cost-effective solution to keep coming back to Hawaii to be a snowbird, to get their vacations deducted as business expenses, or hold as an investment and just rent out as an Airbnb when they're not here, or you just want to find an inexpensive way to get into the market. So they come across these leaseholds for half off the normal retail price of homes, heck, sometimes even as much as 75% off. But they don't realize until they get further into it that these are leasehold properties. So you don't own the property outright. You own the actual structure and not the land that it's on. So basically you're just renting the land, and when the lease is up, You don't get to continue living in the condo or home unless you renew the lease. Sometimes you have the option to purchase a lease for a large fee, sometimes you don't. So these type of properties are only good for certain types of investment strategies. Otherwise, you really want to own that property outright and fee simple. Now we have a video specifically on this topic that we'll post a link to here in this video if you'd like more information. Fact 3, HARPTA withholding. This surprises many out-of-state sellers. HARPTA, which is the Hawaii Real Property Tax Act, requires withholding a percentage, which is currently about 7.25% of the sales price when a non-resident sells their Hawaii property. It's designed to ensure that the state of Hawaii can collect capital gains taxes from out-of-state owners. Why this matters is sellers often discover late in the closing process that a substantial portion of their proceeds may be temporarily withheld, and as an investor buying for the purposes of renting out as an Airbnb for cash flow, this may hurt the bottom line, your cash proceeds, and when it's time to sell, if you're financing your mortgage. At number 4, we have Honolulu's strict short-term rental regulations. These are always a doozy for local families who count on the additional income to subsidize the high cost of living in Hawaii, and also for the smaller percentage of investors in Hawaii, especially in the tourist-heavy areas like Waikiki. Now, side note here, many homeowners used to rent out their ohana units, what we call ADUs, the accessory dwelling units, or they'll rent out their studio apartments that they may have. And there are also condotels, which are condominium hotels, for example, which allow owners to rent out their units as vacation rentals. And this is a hybrid model of investment and personal use. So why this matters, locals and investors thinking about using their extra space or buying condos for short-term nightly rentals like Airbnb or VRBO for additional income, they will face limitations and fines if they operate outside of a permitted area or if they don't have a PUC, which is a conditional use permit. Okay, at 5, we have Hawaiian Homelands properties. Some properties in Hawaii are restricted and designated as Hawaiian Homelands, and these are reserved for Native Hawaiians. So often we'll see single-family homes on the market that are like 40% lower in price than the average sales price for the area. And these are leaseholds, although the lease on these properties is 99 years. And you have to be at least 50% Native Hawaiian to qualify to buy these homes. Now, this isn't to be confused with other leaseholds that anyone can buy. Okay, at number 6, we've got to get into maintenance fees in condos. Hawaii's condo maintenance fees are notoriously high and definitely reaching over $1,000 a month for the luxury buildings. And this, of course, adds significant monthly costs to the homeowner. And now with the upsurge in natural disasters like hurricanes and fires, we've seen even more dramatic increases in the HOA fees as special assessments to cover the increases, these huge increases in insurance premiums that the current HOA policies don't cover. And a side note here, another negative with that is that most financial institutions, they won't loan on condos that don't have full hurricane coverage. And I'm not gonna lie, it can be a really challenging and daunting task finding the condos that do. Now, if you're looking to purchase in one of these high-rises or townhomes, we've got you covered. We've been through this process quite a bit. Now, speaking of condos, at number 7, many Oahu condos have strict pet policies. While some mainland condos are pet-friendly, many Honolulu high-rises maintain firm restrictions on pet size, breed, or total number of animals. Some even prohibit pets entirely. Why this matters? Pet owners, of course, need to verify each building's house rules, often set by the HOA, and violations can result in fines or forced relocation of the pet. In layman's terms, they're not going to let you move in with your pet. Now, there are a limited number of condo towers, for example, that allow pets, and we did a full video on condos that accept pets. We'll put a link in the description below. Now, at number 8, we have bidding wars are the norm. Due to limited inventory, it's common for properties to receive multiple offers, sometimes selling for well above the listing price. So a beautiful house in a hot neighborhood listed at a competitive price, it's usually going to create a bidding war. And believe it or not, this can happen regardless of the time of year or even how high the interest rates are, although the bidding war will of course have even more buyers when interest rates are low. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time on our channel and if you're finding this information helpful, we'd appreciate it if you could go ahead and subscribe below if you haven't done so already, and like the video, and feel free to tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market here in Hawaii. Now back to our list. At number 9, we have solar panels and energy efficiency. Hawaii has one of the highest adoption rates of solar panels in the country, and it's a true necessity because our energy rates are the highest in the nation. Right now, HECO, the Hawaiian Electric Company, charges 43 cents a kilowatt hour, which easily is 3 to 4 times the rate of some states on the mainland. Okay, at number 10, Hawaii's real estate appreciation is high. Oahu's property values have appreciated an average of 4 to 5% annually over the past 40 years, making it a solid long-term investment. Now, there are some areas that increase significantly faster than others and vice versa, but I'd say around 2018 and beyond, home values have just continued to escalate even higher. And our home, where we purchased, has increased as high as 32% since we bought. And if this is important to you, and it's usually important to most people, you'll want to learn about which areas tend to bring the highest appreciation. And for our last fact today of part 1 of our 2-part series, at number 11, all the beaches here in Hawaii are public. So the cool thing about Hawaii law stipulates that all beaches are publicly accessible up to the high water mark. So sometimes public right-of-way or beach access pathways will be alongside private properties. And why this matters is owners along the shoreline, they can't block the public beach access. And buyers should be aware of any legally required easements on or near their property. So why I say this, if you plan on buying a multi-million-dollar property directly on the beach and total privacy and seclusion is super important to you, then you'll definitely want to check out if there's a public access walkway right by your property line. And there you have it in this video, 11 unique facts about real estate in Hawaii. Make sure to watch part 2 for the rest of the list of 22 facts. Whether you're considering buying or selling, knowing these details can make all the difference in your journey. And if you're thinking about buying a home, feel free to reach out. You can give us a call or shoot us a text or send us an email. We love helping people buy and invest in Hawaii real estate, and we're here to make your move as smooth and stress-free as possible. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, hit the like button and subscribe, and please leave us a comment below for unique facts that you think we should have added to our list. We'd love to hear from you. Mahalo for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Aloha.